Hello and welcome to In Stitches. Outside with the birds today because I wanted to show you this industrial machine, so excuse any background noise, traffic and aircraft, etc. I just wanted to show you this Singer 366K225 plain sewing machine before I go ahead and sell it. I just did a little bit of work on this machine to get it ready for sale. There's a couple of little finishing touches I need to do on the machine. Just a little bit of a closer look here. You can see that the machine's been used. There's a little bit of wear here on the base and it's a little bit rusty. I'll give that a clean up. And you can also see that someone had one of those pads that they wrap around the arm of the machine and put pins in. You can see a little bit of pin damage there, and unfortunately the pins damaged the cool Singer logo here, the last three letters. So I think that's quite a outstanding logo there on the front of the machine. And there's the model number badge there, and we've got our reversing lever with our stitch length adjustment on this knob here, and then you've got some limiting stoppers here as well for limiting the amount of stitch length. The only other thing I noticed was that this thread guide here is broken off, so there's no thread guide between the thread stand there and this thread guide here, but it doesn't seem to affect the machine as far as functionality goes. The machine does need a bit of servicing, really just a good clean. I'm going to go ahead and get that done today. There's the treadle there, a little bit dirty, but I'm going to go ahead and give the machine a clean up anyway. I've also installed this Hosing clutch motor. That is a 3/4 horsepower clutch motor, and it's a 1425 or 1725 RPM. I think that depends on what voltage you're running there, but we're running 240 volts, so I think it's 1725 RPM there. There's the badge there for it. Yeah, just a bog standard clutch motor. The clutch motor that was on here, the original Singer one, was in an extremely bad state. Now this is the motor that I took off the machine here, and you can see it's in a pretty sorry state. This is the Singer clutch motor. I've taken the panel off there just to expose the wiring there, and it's in an absolute mess. That's the badge there, so it's the category number K622158 with a serial number there, 230 volts to 250, that'll be 50 hertz, half horsepower, single phase with an RPM of 2850 RPM. So this motor is quite a bit faster than the one that I've installed on there at 1750. I'm assuming that the K in this will refer to the Kilbirnie factory. I'm wondering if it's made in the Kilbirnie factory. Along with the machine itself, I was wondering where it was made, and I'm assuming that the model number 366K gives it away, being potentially a Kilbirnie made machine in Scotland. And there's a close-up of the wiring. Now that was the state of it when I took the little cover off. Yeah, I'm pleased I didn't plug this one in to try it out, because it would surely have immediately tripped the circuit breaker. So yeah, in a real mess there. You can see the stand here is solid, a really solid stand. Really good quality. It's a lot better quality than what you get now. Just as an example of what needs to be sort of finished off here is the little base for this thread stand's missing. I've got another thread stand I'll drill a bigger hole in here and install a new thread stand there. Just to let you know what I have done to the machine. The only thing that really needed doing to it, or there were two things actually, and one was the bobbin winder rubber. You can see that this machine's got a built-in bobbin winder here, and the rubber needed replacing. There was a rubber ring which was disintegrating on under here, and I just put a brand new ring on. That was easy, 4 screws, lift this whole assembly out and replace the rubber ring there. Now let's take a look underneath here. Let's tip the machine back here, and we've got a fairly standard sort of setup here with the oil sump there. I've just filled it with fresh oil. Needs a bit more of a deep clean really. I just gave it a bit of a wipe out just to test the machine. I wanted to test the machine before I sort of went too far with it. But you can see under here, that's the oil pump here. And we've got these oil tubes out here coming out to feed these bearings here. And you can see that it's, you know, extremely good quality, this machine. Yeah, just the build quality of this machine is incredible. Get you in for a closer look. You know, everything's just super high quality. You know, these tubes seem intact. You know, there's no problems with those oil delivery tubes, which is good. And if we have a look over the side here, we can see the hook and base here. As I say, it needs cleaning, but yeah, it's looking in good condition there. In fact, I have tested the machine and it runs very well. Give you a quick sewing demo here. Power the machine up. And if you're not familiar with the clutch motors, you can hear that the motor's running here, sort of buzzing away. That's because the motor itself runs when you've got the machine turned on, and it relies on a clutch mechanism to engage the machine, if you know what I mean, to make it sew. It's quite different to a domestic sewing machine that the motor only turns when you put your foot down. It's not the fastest. It could be quite a bit faster, I think, this machine. I've got that slower motor on there, that's 1725 RPM. From memory, I think the other speed was 2250 RPM. So yeah, could go a bit quicker, you know, but it's pretty good. And as you can see there, it's just trucking along there nicely. Real nice. There's the underside of the stitching there, and the top side there. Looking pretty good. So yeah, nice machine, extremely well built. This is the capacitor I took out of the old motor, just because, you know, it's so chunky. I just thought I'd keep it because it's a real beast. It's 12 microfarad with a plus or minus 10%, 330 volts RMS at 50 cycles per second with a fuse fitted. She's a chunky beast, and it's got oil in it. If I shake it, I can hear oil slopping around in there. So yeah, pretty neat, pretty neat. I should put it on the ESR meter and see if it still, you know, measures at 12 microfarads. I have a capacitance and equivalent series resistance meter here. I'll just get that connected to the lead. So first I'll just strip this cable here. It's looking a bit dodgy. There we go. And connect that to the other end there. Excuse the state of the bench, I'm just in the middle of another job here. Okay, let's see what we get here. So we should get 12 microfarads, right? Plus or minus 10%. Let's see what we get. 11.82 microfarad with an ESR of 82 ohms. So that capacitor is still perfectly good. Now, my understanding is that that capacitor is required for giving the motor that initial boost to start, so it doesn't draw too much from the mains power. Now, it might also have something to do with power factor. Now, don't ask me to explain power factor. I've seen it explained really well on YouTube. I think it was Big Clive explains power factor really well. If you are wondering what that is, just take a look at that on Big Clive's channel. Anyway, that looks like a good capacitor. I'll be keeping that just because it's probably one of the biggest capacitors I've ever seen. Anyway, that's it for this one. I thought I'd take the opportunity to show you this ultra high quality Singer plane sower, the 366K225, and I'll go ahead and give the machine a good clean up and a service, and there's not really that much that needs to be done as far as service goes. I will take the throat plate off here and, you know, give it a clean under here, maybe take this face plate off the side here and just give that a blowout in there, and just a general clean up, get rid of some of that surface rust there. That's not going to affect the functionality of the machine at all. I think this machine will make a really good, reliable plane sower. As usual, thank you very much to my patrons for your support, and thank you very much for watching.